This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. On the show today, you'll find out where book publishing is going and how to take advantage of it. How to identify and avoid publishing predators. What opportunities are emerging as the book trade evolves in new forms. How to avoid losing money and much, much more. Join us now as a variety of publishing pros will deliver insights and strategies to take the author to the next level of publishing. It's your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. Brought to you by AuthorYOU and the Book Shepherd. And now, here's your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
Top of the publishing day to all of you. I think that one of the things that I wanted to do to really express during this blitz of where I'm talking about a lot of the key elements, the essentials, the elementaries, the crucials, is certainly this topic that we're going to focus on today. And a lot of times people think of it is it the chicken or is it the egg? Or does the egg come first or the chicken? What I'm talking about is book marketing. And that one of the greatness is that authors think they can get other people to do all the marketing that they need to have done. And they, I hate to say this, fail horribly. And I think the one thing that you've got to take away, if it's to be, it's up to me. That means you. So if not you, then who? I've heard so many times people say, I need a professional to market my book. Are you one of those? If you are, stop it. It's time to do a reframing, reframe your thinking, and whatever you're doing now for marketing. One of the most common questions I get is, when do I start marketing? And maybe I should preface it with, most authors in my mega years of working with authors don't even want to think of the word marketing, much less implement anything that would be having something to do with marketing until after they have their book written. And better yet, after they have it in hand. And that is wrong. Like wrong. And more wrong. The moment you start thinking about book writing is when you start thinking about marketing. Who's the audience? Who's the ideal market for? Earlier this month, I was in Houston, Texas, working with a whole bunch, a gaggle of fabulous authors. And one of the things I always do is I go around the room is to tell me who your book is for. Tell me who. And one of the responses was, it's for women over 50. And that was it. And I asked the author, well, what kind of women? Are they women of a certain nationality or culture? Are they married or are they single? What kind of hobbies do they have? Where do they hang out? What kind of bad habits do they have? What kind of movies do they like to watch? What about TV? Do they have children? Do they never want to have children? Or they would like to have more children? Do they have a lot of girlfriends? Or do they like to have men friends? And we went on, and he just never had thought about that. Who, dear author, are you writing to? Who needs your words of wisdom or your fabulous stories? Who is the who? And that's where you start. That's the very first thing that you need to address. And I'm going to tell you, if you know who that who is, if you know who your ideal reader is, it will make not only your marketing easier, but it will make your writing easier. Because you can have a conversations with the magical who. Sometimes you get stuck. Ask them what they think. I'll tell you, your head's going to go to work because you've already set up who all the who is. So whoever you put out to be that professional book marketer, and I think it should be you, needs to know what's the passion that brought you here. What's the agony? What's the ecstasy of all of this? Who would best understand what your protagonist is motivated by, is fearful of, would do anything to jump through hoops to get to or to avoid? As a fiction author, that's you. That's who. Who best can feel the desperation of a situation that you've become an expert in because of your own personal experiences in the trenches? The who is you. So you may not have the perfect pitch down yet, and that's something that you want to work with and for in your marketing. But you practice that as you go along. So if you thought someone else was going to do all this for you, rethink it, reframe, and look at yourself in the mirror. Because I know if you had your druthers, you wouldn't have to do all that. Most wouldn't. But the reality is you need to do it, and you do it with target marketing. So what if your book relieves someone from the doldrums of a slow day, a bummer of a situation, the numbing of a commute, or just tickles, entertains, thrills, or has the reader marveling at the twists and turns that you've created? Wouldn't it be fun to kind of give them the behind the scenes of how that all came about? What if your book delivers the answers to a problem or a situation that is commonplace or even not so common? And what if you can explain why it's happening in a format that is easily grasped and then roll out the solutions in a 1, 2, 3 punch that the readers will do a happy dance to have at his or her fingertips? How did you get so smart? I bet because you lived and experienced it. You have a PhD in life, and maybe the educational degree to boot to support it. And you know the roller coaster that you went through to get to the end. Who else but you lets others know about the ins and outs and how you relieve the pain or get healthy or find balance or fill in the blank? Author book marketing is about sharing and telling people about what you care about, and what you're passionate about. It's work. I'm not gonna diminish that, because it is work. And I've always told people, you've got to have the goit factor. Get off your tush. Yet it doesn't have to be the drudge that many think it to be. When you know that your poetry touches the hearts of many and seeds their inspiration, and when you know that words tickle the funny bone, and when you know that your storyline delivers an aha and an oh my God experience, when you know that your know-how is exactly what a specific workplace needs, when you know that you've created a unique twist for something, anything that affects many, who best to spearhead the book marketing than you, the author? When the author talks about their book, it's marketing, and it's when people listen. Book marketing today is like going to a cereal aisle at any grocery store, all 6 shelves at some of the big ones, consuming maybe 60 feet, packed with every imaginable type of cereal. Some for kids, some for adults, some hot, some cold, some created for specific diets, some loaded with eye candy, ingredients to get the consumer's taste buds salivating. A lot of sums, don't you think? Today's book marketing grocery store is centered on the internet. Marketing is about connecting, finding those who want to hear your story, your insights, or they just want a good read. In other words, your audience is clickable. They're hanging out on the internet. They may be at a meetup group, around the corner, in a coffee shop, your favorite Starbucks. They could be glued to a specific social media platform. They could belong to an association, a private one, maybe a public one. They could be anywhere and everywhere. Now, you can hire someone to help you out to find them, but to connect, to build a relationship, that's you. And it's called Book Marketing 101. That's the power. And is it the chicken or is it the egg? Heck, I don't know. But I know you've got to start early You've got to start fast. You've got to be consistent in the process as you go along. You've got to use your imagination. You've got to have a commitment to it. That's always the important thing. You've got to be commitment. You've got to have a website where people can come and connect with you and follow your other words. I'm in the thing that you got to have a blog on it. You want to create posters, and I'll talk about those later in the program. You've got to know who the top influencers are right now in the genre that you are writing within. So what do you do to start there? And let's start there. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the Google and you're going to put in the best-selling authors for fill in the blank. What's your genre? You're going to do that on Amazon as well. So do Amazon and the Google, see what's going on. If you get down to a brick and mortar store, which I always think you should, if you're down at a brick and mortar store, hey, ask what are the top selling books in the area. And certainly you can always just look up what are the hot books in so many different categories with the New York Times. One of my favorite go-to things is to pick up the Sunday Times. That whole section called Book Reviews, which is a standalone section within the Times, will give you a line-by-line description of what a book is, as in usually 10 words or less, which is part of how to pitch. The second part of it is it's got it all broken down, not only in hardback and paperback, fiction and nonfiction, but multiple genres to go within to, from how-to self-help to kids to juvenile to fill in the blank. That's where you start. We'll be right back. This is Judith Briles. It's AuthorYOU, your guide to book publishing.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these.
Is there a book in you or another? AuthorYOU shows you how to create, develop, and publish your book without being hoodwinked. If you already have a book out, you will find a supportive and brainstorming community that is connected and creative, no matter where you live. AuthorYOU brings in national experts for its book camps and annual AuthorYOU extravaganza. It has regular meetings and delivers webinars for its members on timely topics. Through AuthorYOU's extensive network, members enjoy exclusive benefits, including significant discounts for a variety of services necessary to publishing. AuthorYOU is the premier authoring resource in the country, creating community, education, guidance, vision, and success for the serious author. If you want to create a book that has pizzazz, punch, and panache, AuthorYOU is for you. Timely author and publishing tips and articles are posted on its social media platforms, and it is free. Discover AuthorYOU, where authors go to become seriously successful. Join AuthorYOU today at AuthorYOU.org. Are you confused about publishing options? Do you know which printing option is best for your book? Does your stomach flip when you think about selling books? Or do you feel overwhelmed with what to do about book marketing and publicity? Get the answers and much more. Get them and from someone who knows publishing inside and out from both the traditional and independent sides how to make a successful book. You can't do it alone without paying the price. You can spend your money creating a book that turns out to be so-so, or you can create a book that looks and feels classy, builds your brand and platform, and is a success, a bestseller. It is your choice. You choose. If you want author and publishing success, you want Judith Briles as your book coach. Sign up for her weekly blogs and e-zine at thebookshepherd.com.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
So what's the message I'm giving you, really saying to you? It's the marketing, stupid. For you and your book success, the variation of the Clintons, it's the economy, stupid tagline decades ago. Bring it back to what matters, what counts. The reason why marketing is so successful and the thing that people come back to is it works. And the cost, well, sometimes it can be peanuts, really peanuts, and other times it can cost a lot. And the other thing is, it's a marathon. Don't think of this as a sprint. It's actually a string of marathons. I rarely ever expect to see instant results and a roaring success. If you get caught up in the microwave mentality, the instant success, the instant heat wave, recognition, gazillions of book sales, trust me, that's your ego pulling the strings. It's not reality. So understand that as we go forward and really move yourself and get it so that you have a huge amount of play to support you in this. So in your starting, you start selling your book before it's a book. Now, those of you who already have a book in hand, you're going to have another book. Books breed books. I have said this so many times. Yes, they breed books. So you'll have more books coming along. But how about maybe a restart of your book, a relaunch of your book? Maybe it's limping along, or maybe it sells a couple of copies a week in the online stores, but it's not doing what you really visualized, what you really wanted. So you've got to do some strategies to come back. And I've always said, where the internet is the town hall of book marketing, you are the visionary and the driver of it. So learning how to niche market so you don't waste your time, your energy, and certainly money. Knowing what magic mixes of options you have available will bring to your crowd, that tribe, those readers who are just waiting to hear from you. Getting your pitch to a prospective buyer of your book or services that generates a tell me more response are all part of the focus effort that I call ninja book marketing that authors need to use. So let's start with the beginning. And let's start with, let's say we've got a new book coming along. You've already had some books. You've had some success. Well, bravo. But you've got another one. Have you started pre-selling it? And you start pre-selling it by creating literally, think about doing flyers and things like that. Book sales and deals can be done before any book ever comes out. Or you can do deals after it's in print. You can make special offers. You can take orders before it's printed. Pre-selling allows you to test the market response, your potential cover. And guess what? Your pricing. Are you too low? Are you too high? Orders can be taken through your website. Yes, you will have one. Please tell me you do. Or you will before your book comes out. It's a must-have on your book marketing, selling, success timeline. You can create a flyer that you can distribute wherever you are. Carry them with you. If you're making a presentation anywhere, before butts go into the seats, put your flyer there so they will pick it up. And I have never been at an event where when I have had flyers on the seat of something, that people don't read them before whatever the program is going. You've already started seeding the kernels about what you and your book are about. When people prepay, those funds can be used to offset your ongoing cost, your production cost. If you think you're going to price your book at $20, let's use that for example, offer it to early buyers at $20. And what I do is I include shipping as an incentive, a freebie. In effect, that could be a 25% discount of the book. Any resistance allows for tweaking, including a change in price. And if there's no resistance at the $20 mark, maybe you should notch it up a few bucks next time you put your flyer out. Of course, you will honor the people who have the the $20 price. Let me give you an example. When I first published my book, Money Smarts for Turbulent Times, my pre-flyer had it pegged at $15. Quickly, I saw that I had priced it too low. Over a 3-month period, I had 2 price increases to $20 and then $25, finally settling at $25 when I went to print. For those who had committed at the lower price, it was certainly honored. My pre-prep flyer was posted on my website and wherever I spoke. And routinely, I was successful in covering the cost of my printing run, which was usually a minimum of 1,000 copies for my pre-sales. Pre-sell to groups that you know. If you're a speaker, distribute flyers everywhere you present. If you have an internet following, tell your fans your news. You've got a book coming, and because they are your fans or clients, they can order a copy at a special discount and receive it before others. Now, where would you land this special discount? Put it on your website and make a link. And what I would add also to it in those kind of things when you're doing a pre-offer or ever selling on your website, because they can often go to other places and get, it possibly at a discount. Sometimes Amazon discounts it, or they can get it if they're a Prime member at Amazon. They might be able to get it without shipping. So you need to take things into consideration. So what could have value? Oh, I got it. How about a personalized copy being sent to them? Maybe something special for someone's birthday. Spell it out, because these kind of things you have to kind of tweak it so people get it implanted in their mind. Oh, it's Aunt Sue's birthday. She would love this book. And you will personalize it and send it to either Aunt Sue directly, or you can send it to the buyer who they can give it to Aunt Sue. So what I would do, you need a portal for them to pay for it. I think PayPal is one of the easiest ones to do, and it comes right in, and the tax can be charged what is appropriate. You can put in a slot for what the shipping is. I would make sure that if you're doing any sales from your website, that you make sure that your shipping quote is for the country that you live within. So in the United States, it would be, all domestic. If you are international, please call our office so we can let you know what the shipping fee is. So your book could also be considered for a company or a product that would make it an ideal candidate for a sponsorship as a premium for the group. You want to start pitching those early, because a lot of times decisions are made many, many months ahead of time. My tip here is pre-selling your book gives you an instant feedback. Is there demand? Do you need to adjust your price? You may discover those who want to preview or review your book. Of course, you'll give them to it for free. Make sure you start gathering emails of all you come in contact with. Also carrying mailing labels. This is a trick that I learned really early on. When I had pre-order forms, people would often almost scribble out their name. Their name would be, I could figure out the name, but sometimes, I needed an advanced degree to figure out the address. So I started carrying mailing and labels. Now you can make them yourself and print them out. And what I did is I would have them, when they ordered the book, fill it out. So, and then I would just staple. I carried a little stapler with me, and I would staple it to the order form. So it's all there, ready to go. They filled it out. So I'll tell you, they're going to make sure that it's legible and it can come to them. It's self-addressing. Pre-ordering isn't exclusive to a printed book. Don't forget your ebook version. And if you know an audiobook will be created, take pre-orders for that as well. iBook allows pre-orders up to 12 months prior to publication. And Barnes & Noble and Kobo will allow up to 9 months. Amazon also allows 3 months in advance for ebook availability. Now, I think a great source, if you're interested in where to move an ebook in pre-orders, I would check out smashwords.com. Their CEO, founder, Mark Coker, has created several guides to rocking ebook pre-order strategies that you can find directly on the site, and do a search for pre-orders and see what you come up with. And again, the site is smashwords.com. So when you create that pre-order or pre-publication, as well as post-publication flyers, timing is always important when you're thinking about this. So I start pre-selling a book literally 6 months to actually having in hand. And truth be told, I've done it before I've even written a book. It lets me know if there's a demand. It gives yourself a little flexibility. And I think this is a smart thing to do. Never say, my book will be available in February 1st of 2020. Let's go to the next year, February 1st of 2020. It would be better to say that your book is available winter of 2020 or spring of 2020 or summer of 2020, fall of 2020. You then have a 3-month window because for spring, for example, that starts around, hard to believe, spring is going to start as you get into this, but you've got fall. Let's start with fall. Fall, since this show is first live in fall. Fall started September 23rd of 2019. It will go through into January as you go along. It's going to go into, so we have fall, we have end of September, we have October.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these.
Discover the power of you and your book at the Judith Briles Unplugged events. Each summer, Judith Briles Book Marketing Unplugged unfolds over 3 intensive days working with just Judith. You get publishing strategies, author and book platforms, book marketing panache and pizzazz, and authoring tools to take you and your book to rock star success. In the fall and winter, Judith Briles Speaking Unplugged includes Judith as your coach and mentor during 2 powerful days. You will learn how to structure a speech, how to create openings and closings, how to find gigs that pay you and sell your books, and you will get one-on-one coaching. Go to thebookshepherd.com and click on the events tab to learn how to participate at the next Unplugged Workshop event.
First impressions are everything in the world of book publishing. Whether your book is an ebook, a print version, or both, your book cover needs to pop, sizzle, and sparkle to immediately capture the attention of your audience. And your book's interior needs to be just as dynamic and reflect the professionalism your readers demand. Nick Sellinger of NZ Graphics has won numerous national and international book awards for his cover designs and interior layouts. With over 20 years of experience in graphic design, he knows what it takes to create award-winning books and the many promotional pieces that authors need, such as posters, banners, postcards, one-sheets, business cards, logos, and more. Visit ncgraphics.com and see what authors and publishers have to say about their award-winning books and how NZ Graphics can make your book the success it was meant to be. That's nzgraphics.com.
Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. Coming up, you'll hear more about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
So let me finish up on the idea, the concept of just using seasons to say your book's available. It gives you the flexibility. It takes the pressure off because, look, sometimes deadlines get missed. And so what you want to do, again, check out your seasons, look where they are. As I was saying, fall this year started September 23rd. It's going to go through October, November, December. And then winter will start around the 21st of December. That's going to carry through, towards right past the Ides of March. And then spring starts, summer starts in latter June, etc. It'll just work better for you, I promise you. Now, if you've settled on a price, offer your special at the price with free shipping as the incentive. That always works. And that gives them more, they can really see, I am saving money, it's going to come directly to me, and then you have that. Now, I'm going to advise you, any money you collect, please don't spend them. Stash them aside, kind of like a little escrow account, so you have that ready, and you're not scrambling for money to take care of any of these last-minute expenses. Before you ship books out, you want to create another form. About you, what's going on. Maybe you have other services. Maybe you have events coming on. Maybe you're going to be in their area and have that. You have now moved from the CWO, the Chief Writing Officer, to the CMO, the Chief Marketing Officer. It's your job to get your book out there. Anytime you can put something in someone's hands, flyers, postcards, anything that says you and your book solve problems, that provides value or entertains, you hit a home run. Now, have you thought about pitching your book to a book club? They're all over the place. Now, they don't, and I will tell you, when book clubs, the commercial book clubs, don't pay top dollar. They usually buy books, and they usually do it at a deep discount. They pay you quickly, and they don't return books, which is very cool. There are general interests, there are lifestyle book clubs, there are special interests, there's professional clubs. If you go to the book-clubs-resource.com site, and I'll say it again, book-clubs, and that's plural, -resource.com site, it's an eye-opener for general information on book clubs, reading groups, how to set one up, and online options. And I'm telling you, let the internet do the walking for you. Now, there's a few others that you should explore. Bookclubdeals.com, booksonline.com, bookspan.com, all book clubs, and again, that's plural, allbookclubs.com. And all of those could lead you into specific strategic clubs that just might be the perfect book club for you. Don't forget companies. Don't be surprised to discover that departments within companies may have their own book clubs. If you are doing any consulting or speaking, just ask your contact. Make a offer for a discount to do them. And if you want to support your local bookstore, if you're doing something in your local area, contact your local bookstore and tell them that you've got a book club, a book group that wants to buy a bunch of your books. And if they buy, let's say, a minimum of 25, what kind of discount can that give to you? Many bookstores work with local book clubs. They actually have the lists of them. Identify who the contact person is at your local bookstore to determine if there are any clubs that might fit your book. And here's one other thing. I would recommend that within two things, in the interior of your book, at the end of the book, how about have a book discussion page? Maybe put up anywhere from 7 to 10 key questions that a group could discuss and start with that. And if you're available, on your About the Author page or how to work with your page, you're going to include that in your book too, because this is part of marketing. How about including that you're available for Skype or Zoom discussion groups with their club? Of course, the string attach is if they all get your book. I would always make sure that you have that on there, all right? So that would be great fun, opens up your fans as you go back and forth. Now, how about using a little media to support your marketing? A lot of people don't think of media as a direct marketing. They think that it's more face-to-face. There's all kinds of ways to do this. If there ever was a giant sucking sound in publishing, this is the arena that usually gets the most votes. Mega thousands, I'm telling you, thousands and thousands of dollars can be kissed off in the area of PR and publicity. And next week, I'm going to spend more time on this, but I just want to kiss it right here. Most people, and certainly authors, would assume that if a program or plan was created, money's committed to, there would be success, meaning a lot of books would be sold. It's not so with PR. There is no guarantees. There's no guarantees of even getting in anything when you start spending money here. In PR and publicity, authors and publishers quickly learn that this is the truth. You may be scheduled to do a segment on a coveted program and get bumped at the last minute because of the late breaking news. I mean, it could be some celebrity has broken their leg, even. Yes, your info is more important, but producers have quirks as to what they think is newsworthy. And unfortunately, often junk rises to the top. You're expendable. You can be out. Or some crisis or a tragedy hits. Anyone who had planned a media blitz when 9/11 hit years ago did an instant vaporizing act. The same with the disappearance of the Malaysian Flight 370, a massive tornado strike, or a hurricane that comes in and swamped the city of Houston that happened not long ago. It could be debates that come in. It could be a political cycle that takes over. You've got to be aware of things that could be there. For example, politics is going to be there. A major election coming up, which is going to be happening next year, will be there. And it's going to dominate a lot. Of course, you may be the aspirin relief for it too. That doesn't mean you can't hook your book with an event if it's appropriate. What happens when the unexpected happens during an author tour? Years ago, I was doing promotion for my book, The Confidence Factor. I was scheduled to be on the Morning Exchange, a top-rated show in Cleveland, Ohio at the time. It was graduation night the night before, and tragedy hit. An accident, teens drinking, deaths. 3 of the star students died, including the president of the class. The city was waking up to this awful news. Family and friends were mourning, and I was scheduled to be bright and perky. Caramba! I'm supposed to be upbeat and inspirational. It was the wrong time and a wrong fit to be upbeat and perky. As I listened to the news segment and preceded me, I turned to the host off camera and I said, I know that I'm supposed to talk about my new book, latest book here, and I have another one that would be so much better. It opens on the death of my 19-year-old son from an accident. Would it be okay if I lead with this instead of my book? With sad and teary eyes, all he could do was nod his head yes and lead as the camera light flashed on. I introduced what happened to me years ago. And with the show's permission, I said out loud, I want to divert and talk about another one of my books and talk to you all from my heart. And it took over. I revealed how devastated I was when my son had died, how his younger sister was with him, and how the news took over our entire community, how even his dog lost all her hair. As I shared, they listened, asking few questions. What I didn't know what was going on at the switchboard. Massive phone calls were coming in. Viewers wanted to hear more. They needed to hear more. The producers were telling the hosts that they were bumping the next 2 segments and to segue me to keep me there so they could keep talking. Leaving with thank yous and hugs all around, the head producer approached me and said, would I be willing to come back the following month and do an entire show on overcoming adversity? Of course I would. And then I could bring in my book that I was there to talk about, which was The Confidence Factor. So if you're going to do any kind of PR that ties in with your marketing, you need to know it's not an easy job. You need to find out, is there major news going on? Could it be bumped? It's critical to be focused and targeted. Now, when you set out to do marketing and you involve PR, you want to ask yourself, what does your crowd, your book buyer, watch or listen to? This goes to the producer, the person who is booking you. What are the media channels? Are they print TV, radio in your community? What shows feature authors and book? What shows feature experts? What themes are carried on the event? Calendar for the local newspaper. What are your freebie throwaway papers? What are your online news resources? What internet shows are there? What are the groups that share the message of the book? What is currently hot? The bottom line here is, Ellen, Good Morning America, Today, etc., are not for everyone. And most people want to start really big and think really big, and it's always a mistake. Start small. Start with little steps, because this is where you'll start getting your rhythm down. It's where you'll get your expertise down. It's how you're going to be able to do it, and you'll do it with pop and pizzazz, and you will be asked back. Trust me, it happens all the time. So book marketing 101 starts with basics all the time. And it's going to start with also getting reviews for your books. They're critical. When we come back, we're going to talk about gathering some of those reviews and putting them in place so you'll rock and roll. This is Judith Briles. It's AuthorYOU, your guide to book publishing.
Is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these.
The book shepherding concept is simple. The publishing world is changing, and so must you. You need an experienced shepherd and guide to collaborate with you as you create, strategize, develop, publish, and achieve your publishing goals. Publishing is riddled with obstacles, sometimes nightmares for the author. You do not need more problems. You want solutions. Dr. Judith Briles will shepherd you through the maze and chaos. At times, she has had to step in and rescue a book that has been sabotaged by a publisher, by a publishing service provider, and sometimes even by the author. If you want author and book success, connect with her today at thebookshepherd.com.
At Total Printing Systems, customer service is our priority. We are located in Southern Illinois. Our employees have an average of 18 years experience and know that customer relationships are important to our continued success. We have been a short-run book printer for nearly 40 years and always stay at the forefront of technology. Our niche is from 1 to 5,000 copies. Today, we offer digital, black and white, and 4-color high-speed inkjet printing, a cost-effective way to introduce color into your short-run titles. We, of course, offer traditional offset printing as well. Bindery is done in-house, from adhesive case binding to PUR perfect binding to mechanical binding of all types, including side sewing. We provide warehousing, kitting, distribution, inventory management, a new print-on-demand facility, streaming browser-based ebooks, and bookstore. call us at 1-800-465-5200 for a quote on your next book project. You can also visit our website at www.tps1.com.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
One of the things that authors think, and I mentioned it as I started the show, that they think that their book is for everyone. If you go down that path, it's the kiss of death. Truly for book sales. It is never for everyone. The keeper for you to remember is the more you niche yourself, the bigger your market is. Truly. Narrowing down your ideal reader keeps you focused in your writing. It creates a home run for any book marketing efforts, including your social media outreach. So, I mentioned as we came to that in this last segment that it's important to get book reviews, and I can't reiterate that enough. You want to start early on. You want to ask. Be prepared to ask. You're going to hate me for saying this 8 times. Your friends and family won't do it. And if you're connected with people in social media, Amazon, Robot Killer, if you're connected with them, that the odds are you are going to get booted. So let me give you a tip. That one way I have found to bypass and get around getting things posted is that you write them, get someone who is not visually connected to you to post them for you, who's not in your household, who ideally doesn't have the same name, who certainly would not be using the same computer, and write them up and have them post as them. Now remember, to be able to post, you don't have to buy on Amazon. And so it won't be a verified buyer. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That you have to, the person who is posting has to buy at least $50 worth of stuff. I don't care if it's toilet paper, if it's, power sources, or it's books or food, doesn't matter. Just $50 of stuff on Amazon. That's the rules, at least this year. And get them to do it. And the other thing is, I'm going to suggest for all of you to make sure that if you're making reviews for other people, keep a copy of them in case Amazon rejects them, so you can go back and redo it again. Because I have spent time really working on it, and I just, would post it up thinking it would be fine, and then Amazon does its magic reject button. So be careful of that. And then the other thing is essential for you to make sure that you create a folder on your own computer that you check into Amazon every once in a while, and that you go in and you copy over to your files so you have them. Also, why not post them out? Why not do a copy and say, thank you, Amazon buyer, for posting this review on my book. It's a good way to shout out and give yourself a nice little pat on the back. So, as for reviews up front, if you need them, you need the more the merrier. You want to get as many as you can. Now, if you're going to go into the Amazon marketing services, which is what I would recommend that you be doing, if this is the pay-to-click one, where you set a budget, you have like a 2-line little ad that you write up describing your book using your keywords. I would just Google the Amazon marketing services, because they keep changing the name a little bit, but it'll take you where you need to go. And you hook it into your book that's listed on Amazon. You set a budget. It could be $1, it could be $2, it could be $6 a day. If you put $6 a day, that I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be spent. And it just, what happens is, if you've ever been on an Amazon page or if you bought something on Amazon, have you ever noticed there, like down below the page, it'll say people who looked at this book also looked at these books? Those are these little ads that get posted. And that if you have a budget, like $5 or $6 or something like that, you start getting noticed and picked up this way. And it could be, and it doesn't matter, it goes to your page, whether they buy a print, an ebook, audiobook, fill in the blank. And so you have that. And then what you can do is that you start doing the push. You really start doing the push and you move it out. And you can do a huge amount of business this way. Now, here's what's cool, that there's another wonderful tool that I'm going to recommend that you know about. It's called AuthorYOU, and I will spell it for you. It's Y as in yellow, A as in apple, S as in Sam, I as in igloo, V as in Victor, AuthorYOU.com. Amazon created it. And what it does is it allows you to reach out and move into an area that it's like a spider web maze. You'll see this, that other books that have used your keywords, your search words that pop up. My suggestion, in the Amazon marketing ads, what they do is that you have up to 1,000 keywords, searchable words that you can include. Just take those book titles as well as the author and drop them in. If someone is looking for their name, your book just may pop up. Now, how cool is that? How cool is that? So we have those things moving along. And that's one of the marketing tools I'm going to definitely recommend you do. Now, I'm going to loop this back to reviews. You need 10 reviews to get this really going. People want to see reviews up for books. So start gathering, posting, and putting them on. Now, one of the things that you can do is, before you do a push out of a book on Amazon, I would have it live on Amazon and start getting people to do the posting on it. Not too long ago, I was on a summit, and one of the gifts for these people was to get a copy of my book. The PDF of the book, if they listened in and they contacted me after they heard my presentation. And almost 100 of them. Now I will be doing a follow-up as a reminder to each one of these individuals that they got my book. Here is the link. Please post a review. Now, remember what I said at the beginning of this segment? It takes like 8 requests. I will go back. Now I've got them I just put them on an Excel sheet. Getting out, I will just put the date that I did the ask, and I'm going to go back and do the check and just keep reminding them again. Thank them for listening to my interview. 1, 2, remind them that they were sent a copy of my book, and this particular book was called How to Avoid 101 Book Publishing Blunders, Bloopers, and Boo-Boos, which I would recommend to all of you, and has a lot of the material that I've shared with you within the book and more details that go with it in this broadcast today. And then I will go and keep pushing them until I see more adding up. Now, why do you want to do that? Because it shows there's action. And there shows his activity, and it makes the Amazon robots happy. So you want to have that. The more reviews you can get, the better. It's always for your book. The more, the better in this process as we move along. All right, then, so ask for the review up front, and that you could put it on a postcard when it goes out. If anyone buys your book, if you're at an event, and you have face-to-face contact, have it on a slip of paper. Put your book cover on the slip of paper. Get a shortener. Use something like either bit.ly, bit.ly, or tinyurl. They both have the capability of customizing. And what you want to do is take that and run with it. And you put it in there and tell them that authors need reviews. Oh boy, do we need reviews. And to do that, You're going to collect their names at any events and their emails. And when you use shorteners, it's betterable. And if you customize it, you can maybe use a keyword in the title of your book. And so it becomes more memorable. So remember I said your book isn't for everyone, so it's target. And the last thing I want to leave you with before we close out this podcast is that it's important for you to create some kind of a tagline that supports your branding. Your book is part of your brand. Your name is your brand. Does that reflect on your website? Does it reflect in any pre-marketing material you have out? Does it reflect in the marketing material as you go forward? Your brand is always there. So know that from the beginning. Mine is creating successful authors with practical publishing guidance. Once you have your tagline, incorporate it in all your social media, your profiles, put it under your name, like on the banner on your website, so it does have a good pop to it. And that's where your marketing is going to start. So as I sum this up, savvy marketers, savvy authors start marketing their book before it's published. It's like a sandwich. It's ongoing. Marketing needs to be like a DNA for you. It's embedded. It's part of your platform. It's part of your social media presence. It's just becomes part. And with that, learn how to tell people. This is one of the struggles when I was in Houston, when I asked people to tell me about their book. They wanted to tell me about their book. I mean, really tell me about their book. And what I wanted them was to give me the snap, the crackle, and the pop. There's one other thing I'll tell you. When you're telling people about your book, engaging them, the eyebrow theory comes in line. If you see them squinting their eyebrows, they're confused. They're not getting what you're saying, right? And so they're just, they're just confusion. If it's ho-hum, they're bored. If you see an eyebrow raised or both of them raised, it's kind of like, tell me more. And that's what you're after. Book marketing, the wherewithal is not a natural for most of you. I know that. But it's something that all of you can learn. I'm Judith Briles. I'm your book shepherd. We'll be back with you next week with another marketing related.
For being a part of your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. Each week, a variety of publishing pros will deliver insights and strategies to take you, the author, to the next level. You'll learn tips and secrets on how to create, strategize, develop, publish, and achieve book publishing success by making one very simple change in your book's journey. How to avoid the publishing predators. How to create an author and book platform that rocks. Learn how to make a living with your words and your books. Learn how to publish a book that has no regrets, and so much more. For more information, check out AuthorYOU.org, where authors who want to be seriously successful go. And Judith's website, thebookshepherd.com. Then join us again here next week for more. It's your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. Brought to you by AuthorYOU and the Book Shepherd. Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on the Rockstar Radio Network.